A shy speaker is often considered less authoritative than one who speaks with confidence. Rearrange the word speak to form a meaningful 5-letter word, and you get peaks. It's not just a cliché. To truly speak with authority, you need to peak in your communication, blending confidence and clarity. Today, we're delving into a topic that often goes unnoticed but holds immense power. Hit the subscribe button below, and let's keep this journey going together. Lesson number 1. Mastering the downward inflection. That means when you talk, make your tone go down at the end of your sentences. It gives off a vibe of confidence and certainty. Trust us? It makes a big difference in how people see you. Sometimes when we talk, we go up at the end of our sentences, making it sound like we're asking a question. People often do this without realizing it, thinking it makes them seem friendly and non-threatening. Surprisingly, it can have the opposite effect, making others see us as vulnerable, like prey, and sometimes causing them to act aggressively. This speaking pattern found in many cultures, including Australian, Indian, and Canadian. Even men do it a lot. To help with this, here are some self-coaching tips. Practice for a few minutes daily in a low-stress situation. Take a newspaper or article and read it, pausing at the end of each sentence, even if it's not really the end. Trick your brain into thinking it is. Try changing the pitch on certain words. Go up on the first syllable and down on the second for 2-syllable words. For 1-syllable words, go up on the word before it. For advanced practice, combine the pitches in a sentence. Recording yourself talking can help you notice when you're using upward or downward tones. It's a helpful way to improve your speaking habits. Lesson number 2. Catch yourself when you're fast talking. Play with your speed and rhythm. Some say speaking fast can show confidence, but it's not always true. It's about finding the right balance for you. If you usually talk slow, try speeding up a bit. If you're a fast talker, slow down a tad. Experiment to see what feels right and helps you come across as more authoritative. Talking fast is something some people do, because silence can make them feel a bit exposed. When there's no talking, even just for a little while, they might worry about what others think. Some fast talkers avoid pauses because they don't want people disagreeing with them. But here's the thing, people can still disagree, no matter how fast you talk. If you can get used to short moments of quiet, you might find it calming. It can also make your speaking more powerful. As you get more comfortable with pauses, you'll see how effective they can be for both you and your audience. Give it a try. Just add small pauses at the end of sentences and see what happens. When we talk really quickly at work, people might think we're not confident or maybe trying to avoid questions. It's like building a wall of words to stop anyone from interrupting or challenging us. Lesson number 3. Treat everyone appropriately and with respect. Perhaps no quality is more important in showing up with authority than the ability to treat everyone with respect and dignity. This characteristic often ties in closely to maintaining visibility. Highly visible leaders will also take the time to make personal connections with anyone in the organization. From the mailroom to the C-suite, they learn the names and personal interests of others and engage in conversation with others to help foster a sense of community. They understand the 3 human needs of every employee: to feel liked, competent, and independent at their jobs. As you think of leaders who are famous for charisma or authority, showing up in your leadership role may feel daunting or even impossible. But leadership presence doesn't mean just copying famous people in an inauthentic way. Rather, it means observing what makes these people authoritative, authentic, and charismatic, and then adapting those observations to one's personal leadership brand. Tiny tweaks can lead to big changes. And with practice, anyone can become a leader others point to as someone who knows how to show up with aplomb. Leaders with a strong presence tend to be highly visible throughout the organization. These leaders don't limit themselves to email or instant message communication. Rather, they make time to talk to people in person or by electronic means as much as possible. They also encourage others to initiate conversations and maintain an open door policy, whether it's in person or over video. Leaders with a strong presence will be readily visible and available to their teams, colleagues, bosses, and customers. They will go out of their way to check in with others, listen to concerns, and follow up when necessary. Lesson number 4. The art of speaking with conviction. Realize that being a great speaker isn't just about perfect tonality. It's about standing up for what you believe in with conviction. The most successful speakers and entrepreneurs aren't always the smoothest talkers. They're the ones willing to drop truth bombs and defend their beliefs. People resonate with confidence, so own what you stand for. You're not the only one who wants that. Every person who talks in front of a group hopes that everyone is really paying attention to what they're saying. That's because how you talk in a speech decides how people understand and remember what you're saying. It even decides how they react to your message. If you speak with confidence and really believe in what you're saying, people are more likely to really listen and take your message to heart. Adding a bit of humor to what you're saying can make a big difference, even if the topic seems serious. But the most important thing is how confident and sure you sound. You need to come across as strong, sure, and like you really know what you're talking about. If you don't, people might not take you seriously. Your tone is not just about how loud or fast you talk, but also about your overall style. It's super important because it can either get your audience excited or make them less interested in what you're saying. Lesson number 5. Importance of body language in public speaking. When you talk, it's not just about the words you use. Your body language, like your face, how you stand, and eye contact, also says a lot. It adds up to show what you're really feeling, even if your words say something different. For example, if you're nervous, your body might show it even if you're trying to sound confident. Body language is super important when you're speaking in public. The way you move and express yourself without words can affect how people understand your message, how interested they are, and what they think about you. Even if you've got an awesome speech ready, if you don't move around or show expression, your audience might not really get what you're saying. Most of the ways we move and use our body are things we don't even think about. And it can be hard to change habits we've had for a long time. But if you want to be really good at public speaking, you have to get a handle on how your body talks too. Of course, you don't want to be too focused on how you're standing or breathing during your speech. So, like any skill, the key is to practice regularly. You can try out these techniques in your everyday life until they become habits. That way, when you're on stage, you won't have to think too much about doing them because they'll come naturally. Lesson number 6. Focus on intention rather than result. It's when you're willing to speak up when an injustice is occurring, such as to a person with a seemingly higher status or power difference treating people differently based on their race, religion, or gender. In these instances, something needs to be said, and speaking up to authority is powerful as well as necessary to ensure everyone, no matter their background or identity, has respect as human beings. Now, I know it can feel super risky to speak up to a person seemingly in power, even if they are infringing on another's rights. They may feel criticized or offended when confronted with their behavior. They may be looking for an easy, self-serving or expedient response rather than a moral and just one. And you, the person who is speaking truth to power, may feel uncomfortable or unsure of what to do in the face of conflict and tension. It's okay to be nervous. Speaking up to people, whether it's speaking up for yourself or someone else, is a learned skill. It's a verbal behavior you need to practice. And it's something I know you can get better at. When you learn how to speak up for what is right, you can become a champion of your own moral values and defend those around you who are not being treated fairly. Lesson number 7. Master the power of pause. One really useful skill in public speaking is knowing when to take a pause and how long to make it. Pauses can add a lot of power to what you're saying and keep your audience super interested. Think of pauses like the punctuation marks in your talking. They're like the silent commas, periods, and other marks that make your speech interesting. You might pause to let your audience think about what you just said, or to give a little break in your talk. A great speaker also knows how to use a pause when they forget what they were going to say and need a moment to figure it out. If you're pausing to make a point, make sure it's at least 5 seconds. That might not seem like a lot, but it feels longer when you're up there in front of everyone. We even suggest waiting for 5 seconds before you start your talk. Stand at the microphone, let the room get quiet, and everyone pays attention to you. Then wait another 5 seconds. It's a cool way to grab everyone's focus without saying anything. Pausing is also cool when you're trying to be funny. If you stop before you tell a joke, your audience will get excited about what's coming, and it'll make your joke even funnier. Confident speakers aren't afraid to stand quiet for a moment, because they understand the value of a well-laced pause. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more motivational content. My friends, 7 traits of people who speak with authority are not traits of authority but traits of depth. It's about communicating with intention, empathy, and authenticity. Thank you for joining us today as we explored the transformative power of speaking less and listening more. Remember, your words hold power, and by speaking less when necessary, you can create more meaningful connections and impact in your life.